Molten salt reactors use all of the fuel, so there is no nuclear waste. The ones we use, water-cooled reactors, only use about 0.5%. So 99.5% of the fuel is waste material. But in a molten salt reactor, it uses all of the fuel, so there's no waste. The center of the Earth is a nuclear reaction. So I kind of found out it is a natural thing. And the molten salt reactors mimic the center of the Earth. So in this video, there's going to be a meditation, and believe it or not, we're going to take a little journey to the center of the Earth, which is run by nuclear fission. At the center of the Earth is a giant, all of the uranium and thorium and plutonium is all fissioning, the same as it would do in a nuclear reactor, and that makes all of this molten lava and lava flows in the center of the Earth. And in the meditation, we're going to go to that. We're not going to get killed by radiation. We're going to go to that and just absorb the natural energy. That is like the beating heart of our planet. That's the energy that's just pulsing out through our planet. From the very center, there is this nuclear energy. And people have become frightened. They've become campaign to kind of frighten people of nuclear energy. But there is nuclear power stations called molten salt reactors that are completely safe and do not produce any nuclear waste, and they work in the same way as is happening in the center of the planet. And China has just brought out the first workable whatever they're called, nuclear plant power station, nuclear power station. It's called reactor, molten salt reactor. China has just brought out their first molten salt reactor. It's the first one, the first working one in the globe that can power a whole area. It's a working model. It's 2 megawatts. It's like the size of a small nuclear reactor, and they've made a thorium molten salt reactor. Molten salt reactors use all of the fuel, so there is no nuclear waste. The ones we use, water-cooled reactors, only use about 0.5%. So 99.5% of the fuel is waste material. But in a molten salt reactor, it uses all of the fuel, so there's no waste. And there may be a few waste products, but they don't stay radioactive for so long. So it's a viable way of moving forwards. And it's a thorium molten salt reactor. Thorium is completely available, the masses of it all around the world. It's a waste product from a lot of mines. And also molten salt reactors can take all of the waste uranium and burn it. So all of this problem that we've had with waste uranium, that they can just burn it. That 99.5% of waste, of uranium waste, they can just use it as fuel in a molten salt reactor, and that just burns it all. Molten salt reactors burn in a molten state, so they can't melt down because they're already melted down, so you can't have the accidents. There isn't the pressure from the steam of the normal ones, so there's no explosions. If the electricity to them stops working, the whole thing just stops working. It just cools down, it melts a plug, the molten salt just goes into a chamber. They're safe. And China has brought out the first one. And for me, that is a new epoch for mankind. And in this webinar, I want to take away people's fear, because I always thought that nuclear energy wasn't natural until I found out that all around the globe there's areas where there's a lot of uranium and it has naturally started fissioning, the same as it will do in a nuclear reactor. The center of the earth is a nuclear reaction, so I kind of found out it is a natural thing. And the molten salt reactors mimic the center of the earth. It's held in a molten state in the same way as it's held at the center of the earth. So standing next to a molten salt reactor is like standing next to the center of the earth, and it's pumping out that same energy. So there is the radiation that's causing the heat, and you don't want to be just in unprotected vicinity of that. It's obviously protected, but also for me there is the life force of our planet pulsing out from these. So I'm kind of putting it to people that these are, one, they are safe, 1, 2, they are sustainable, 3, they can run for hundreds of thousands of years without running out of the ingredient thorium, and probably much longer as they find different areas where thorium can be mined. So everything else is not viable. Solar panels, you've got to renew them every 20 years or so, and they're not really recyclable. They're full of cadmium and horrible things. Wind power, you know, there's all that metal involved, and you've got to change the energies. Coal is obviously causing pollution in all sorts of different ways. A thorium reactor, that much thorium will give you your total supply of energy for your whole life. Heating your house, running your car, your electricity, cooking, all of it. That much thorium, that's all you need. So it's condensed. You don't need a lot of it to get a lot of energy. And when you have a surplus of energy like that, you can use thorium to split steam or to produce hydrogen, because you've got all of this extra energy. You can use it to produce hydrogen and oxygen out of water, so they're both valuable things. And then you can run transport on hydrogen or electricity, but you don't need these big batteries if you're running them on hydrogen. You just fill up a tank and you run it on hydrogen, and the exhaust is water. So you can have molten salt reactors either running on nuclear waste or with thorium, and you can create hydrogen and have everything else working with hydrogen, producing steam as it's gas. And for me, it's a healing energy that's coming out of these power stations, because it's mimicking how it's working in the center of the planet. And they don't melt down, so you know they are healthy. So there is that. So for me, that is a new epoch. China have built their first working reactor. It's actually working, I'm not sure, 2 megabytes, 2 megawatts, whatever it is, just huge. It's about the size of a small nuclear reactor for, I don't know, a city or something like that. And their megawatts, I think it's 2 megawatts, but it's big, big, big. And they're going to now produce bigger ones, and they're going to use it for the whole of China, the Belt and Road Initiative. Lots of countries are asking for it. China, you know, is saying, well, we will come and build them in your country so everyone can have clean, safe, non-wasteful power. That for me is a game changer. That for me is the only way we can move forwards with power. So to help people understand, now I know it's not good to stand next to open fission and just receive all of the radiation. It will kill you. And it's not good to get particles of uranium into your body that are giving out radioactivity, because you'll get cancer. But if it's done properly, then that is a way forwards for mankind. And I think that people say of these UFOs and everything that they're run by nuclear power in a way that we don't understand. Whether you believe in that or not, I don't know, but that was just the message that came through. ETs used nuclear power. Now there's a lot of people talking about fusion, which is how the sun does it, but in a way fission, which is how the earth works, is how the earth works. So it's native to us and natural to us, and I think it gives off a nice kind of energy, not the radiation energy, but the pulsing energy of our planet, which probably can't be measured, you know, subtle energies. And we're going to find out the part of us that relates to nuclear fission. And we're going to take a little journey to the center of the earth. And as we go, we feel, or we will be where we are, however you want to do it. You can travel to the center of the earth, or you can stay where you are and feel to the center of the earth. And we're going to go through the different levels of energy till we get to the thorium, till we get to the uranium, and then we're going to feel this fissioning, also plutonium fissioning there at the center of the planet. And I'm just going to give you a bit of science, because it's going to be there in the meditation. The thorium is called thorium 232, which is the number of electrons. And what happens is, with all of this fissioning going on and atoms exploding, they're giving off electrons, and that thorium picks up an electron, and it changes from being it's got an extra electron, so it changes from 232 to 233 electrons, and that is called uranium 233. So it got that, so it goes from thorium, which doesn't fission, and changes into uranium 233 or 233. That is the most fissionable material, and when that atom splits, it just gives off all of this wonderful energy. These electrons go out and they land on other thoriums. They change into uranium 333. They fission. They give off all of this power, energy. Those extra electrons are picked up by thorium. Thorium changes to uranium 233, and boom. And you've got this whole boom going off at the center of the planet, all of this fissioning uranium-233. It's the most fissionable, easily fissionable, and that's what they're using in these nuclear power stations. It's held in molten salt, so it's all molten. And the thorium goes in, it's got uranium-233 fissioning in there, these electrons go out, the thorium pick up the electrons, they turn into uranium fission. And that just goes on, so they can just keep adding thorium, keeps changing into uranium-233, it fissions, and they just leave everything in there because it's fluid, because it's not solid, it's not rods like our ones. You don't get all of this waste. It just keeps fissioning until it's all fissioned, until there's nothing left to fission. So, and if you're using nuclear waste, it will use up all of the uranium, the different types of uranium, uranium-233, uranium-235, I think there's uranium-237, and then there's plutonium. That they will all fission because it's fluid, and they will just keep fissioning until it's all gone. So it can use, it's called nuclear waste, but actually it's perfectly usable if it's done in a fluid way. So, but we're just going to go in and we're going to blow our brains out, because if we go in the crust of the planet, it's more to do with our higher and lower energies and got a darker quality. When we start coming into the molten rock, this is more the fire circuit. You feel this warmth and this fire. It's in the heart, it's in the ovaries and testes, in the uterus and prostate. It's what I call the fire circuit, and that goes up through the body, through the brain, through the heart, and the arterial blood. It gives this warmth. Then as we start getting closer to the center of the planet and moving into the metals, it moves up into the brain, the intellect, the higher energies. And then when we get to the thorium and it changes into uranium and you get this blast of energy, what happens in that blast of energy is the kundalini rises. You get this connection from the pelvic floor up through the body, up through the top of the head. You get this blast of energy. So every time the uranium fissions, that in us, that mirrored in us, is the kundalini. So you get this blast of kundalini. So we're going to go to the center, or into the center of the earth, into this natural nuclear reactor there. We're going to blow our brains out. We're going to get the kundalini rising, the energy that's happening there, that is mirrored in us and relates to this wonderful energy that can heal through us. So we are going to heal ourselves like that. So the meditation, the breath work we are going to use to go to the center of the earth is called holographic breathing. I am the founder of holographic breathing, and it aids in our journey to the center of the earth. In holographic breathing, the lips are relaxed and closed, the upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth, the breath is through the nose. On the in-breath, the jaw is gently opening. On the out-breath, the jaw is gently closing with the lips closed. I will demonstrate it so you can see that the lips aren't opening closed. You may or may not see the movement of the jaw. It is moving, but it's very subtle. It's only about that much. And because it's happening slowly with the breath, you may not even see the motion, but you will notice it's very relaxed, soft, meditative breath, and the lips don't open, but the jaw moves. So we'll just do that. So I'm just going to do 4 or 5 breaths so that you can see that. I'll get an image of that. Then we will go into the meditation. You don't have to remember what I just said, because I'll talk you through it. I'll talk people into it in steps. All right. So I just go into an alt state as soon as I start doing that, just so transforming and lovely. It just opens all of these healing circuits through me. If you're new, it's good to learn this seated while you're actually getting the initiation into learning holographic breathing. Once it's going and it's feeling natural, you can lie down or whatever. But through the learning of this movement of the mouth and the breath, there's an initiation point where it activates. Before that point, it's good to be seated because it's so easy just to pass out or go to sleep. And if you're not doing all of the bits or getting them in the right order, you're not doing holographic breathing. So good to do this first bit seated. Look, I've got a little bit of light. Can you see that? I'll get it on my third eye. There, oh, it goes out, and there we go. It's on my third eye. Can you see? I'm getting darshan from the universe there on my third eye. So should be a good meditation. We'll open our third eyes with the Kundalini. It's getting a bit higher now. All right, so closing your eyes. Closing your eyes. We're going to bring in some resources first. So you are resource. I'm getting all of this light on my face now. It's funny that it's not anywhere else, just on my face. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the earth, and allowing the earth to say hello back. And notice what that feels like through your body and through your energies. And sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and beneficial energies, any higher beings, divine energies, divine teachers. As long as it's beneficial, sending a smile, sending some energy to the higher self and the beneficial energies, and allowing the higher self and beneficial energies to say hello back. And asking the higher self, the beneficial energies, to be with you through the whole meditation as your guide, as your resource. Okay, so we're going to start with the learning of holographic breathing. So the lips are relaxed and closed. The upper surface of the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is close to or touching the front teeth, and having as much of the tongue on the roof of the mouth as feels comfortable. It must be comfortable. And then with the lips closed, just letting the jaw just bounce up and down. So you, not big, little movements up and down, just so that you get the experience that you can open and close the jaw and keep the lips closed. And then once you have that experience, slowing that motion down so it's nice, slow, relaxed motion of the jaw. And then when you feel ready, as the jaw is relaxing open, letting the breath come in through the nose. And as the jaw is relaxing closed, letting the breath leave through the nose. Excuse me. So the lips are closed, the tongue is on the roof of the mouth. As the jaw relaxes open, it draws the breath in through the nose. As the jaw is relaxing closed, the breath exhales through the nose. Notice it feels like a little bellows. Jaw relaxes open, the breath comes in through the nose. The jaw relaxes closed, the breath leaves through the nose. Relaxing the back of the neck, relaxing the back of the head. As the jaw is relaxing closed and the teeth are coming back together, the teeth just gently float together. There's no pressure, or they just stay very slightly apart. The jaw relaxing open, the breath comes in through the nose. The jaw relaxing closed, the breath leaves through the nose. We're now going to change the gestalt. We're now going to bring the awareness to the breath and let the jaw follow the breath. So breathing in through the nose and the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose and the jaw relaxes closed. Notice how the energy changes. Breathing in through the nose, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out through the nose, the jaw relaxes closed. The lips stay closed all of the time, and the tongue stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Now we're going to move through our body. Breathing in through the nose, the chest is opening, the jaw follows along with it. The chest is closing, the jaw follows along with it. Breathing in, the chest opens, the jaw gently opens. Breathing out, the chest closes, the jaw gently closes. Dropping down to your abdomen. Breathing in, the abdomen opens, the jaw relaxes open. Breathing out, the abdomen closes, the jaw relaxes closed. The lips stay closed all of the time. The tongue stays on the roof of the mouth all of the time. Notice your pelvis opening out to the sides on the in-breath, closing on the out-breath. The jaw following along, feeling your whole torso breathing, opening. On the in-breath, the jaw follows. Closing on the out-breath, the jaw follows. The jaw just becomes part of the breath with the rest of the body. The arms and legs start breathing. The hands and feet start breathing. Everything takes on this deeper, more subtle breath. Notice in a very subtle way your whole face has started to breathe, your brain has started to breathe, your cranium has started to breathe. Everything has started to breathe, gently breathing with the holographic breathing. Gently breathing. There's a very different energy in this meditation. I've been working with the astrocyte cells of the brain, which are different to the neurons. It's the non-thinking part of the brain. It's an intelligence, but it has a different energy, and it can knock people out a bit. So if you feel yourself going in and out of sleep, that is fine. It's just a different energy today. It's a wonderful energy, a healing energy. Anyway, we are now going to start connecting with the earth. So sending a smile to the earth, sending some energy to the earth. Let the earth say hello back. Notice what that feels like through your body. And asking the earth if it's okay to feel down into her, to feel her energy. So you'll either drop into her energetically or just feel from where you are into the earth. You can just go a little bit, asking the earth if it's okay, and then just feeling maybe 10, 15 feet down into the earth. Notice it's cool. Damp for me here, damp energies of the mud. How that heals, how that resonates in your body. And then just noticing 50 feet. We're not going to take a long time, just dropping bit by bit. We're just getting the idea. And then notice deeper, you get all of these rocks, crystals, different qualities of rock. Notice the quality of that. Notice what that feels like. That normally is relating to a much more grounded, earthy quality in your anatomy and in your energies. And feeling down maybe a mile or so into the earth, it's more refined kind of quartz and different crystals and different rocks. And breathe. There may be waterways. Relax the back of the neck. Relax the back of the head. And then dropping right down to where the rock is starting to be molten. And then dropping through that, or feeling down through that into this molten lava. And notice this wave of warmth go through your body. Notice how it relates to your ovaries and uterus, your testes and prostate. It relates to the heart, relates to the arterial blood. And just keep dropping down where you are, but you're also sensing down into this middle rock lava of the planet, and dropping down deeper into that until you're coming to the more central part. As you're going through this rock, you can feel it, molten rock. As you get deeper, you can feel it activating your heart. You can feel it activating the arterial blood in your brain. You can feel your bones, fire energy burning and healing through your bones. It's healing your whole body. You can just hang out and let this fire just burn through you. Let it kill viruses and bacteria, and just let it burn through every cell of your body. It's especially good to get it right into the bones, and let your bones get healed with this fire energy. And breathe with the holographic breathing. And as you drop down deep, you start feeling it coming up into your head, into your brain, and you start noticing there's much more metals. As we get more into the planet, you start getting the heavier elements and the metals which are heavier, bigger mass. And as you drop down into the metals, you've got molten metal, much hotter. This relates to the brain. You can feel this quality of metal. It's healing through your nervous system, healing your brain, healing your nervous system and endocrine system. Just keep dropping into the metal. And at a certain depth, you start feeling you're coming to the radioactive metals. And thorium is the lightest, so you hit thorium first. And there is this whole, you're moving into the nuclear reactor that's producing all of this heat. And there's the fissioning nuclear metals, and there's all these elements flying out and heat flying out and electrons flying out, and you start picking up electrons. The thorium molecules start picking up electrons, and each time they pick up an electron becomes uranium-233. And as you're feeling this uranium-233 picks up an electron, becomes unstable and pops, and you get this energy rushing through your body and this popping in your brain. The kundalini goes off. So each time the uranium is fissioning, you get this rush of energy through your body, through your brain. The energies of transcendence, the nuclear energies are transcendence. Uranium-233 picks up an electron and blows up, becomes unstable, and bump, that energy goes off. And that's mirrored in that we have in us. We have that in us, and energy blows through the body, through the brain and up into the higher self. It starts opening the crown chakra. The fission opens the crown chakra, and also feel it going through your endocrine system, feeling your throat, your thyroid, your thymus gland clearing. All the different areas of the body healing. Each time you fission in your own energies, this massive energy goes on. It starts healing everything. And we're just going to stay in the uranium-233 and just keep letting that fission. This is great for the thyroid. This releases the thyroid. And breathe. Just heals the body, heals the brain, connects us to the higher self. And just letting that release. You may feel it releasing from the different areas of your genitalia, from the pelvic floor, from the rectum, from the pelvis, rising up through you, through the brain, through all the neurons, through all of the astrocyte cells, through all of the glial cells of your brain, this waves of energy just blowing through them and healing them and bringing them into natural alignment, and then that energy releasing up into the divine realms and higher self, deeply healing yourself. And breathe. Feel the top of your head melting. Nuclear internal reactor in you, connecting you to the center of the universe, to the divine realms. Center of the earth relates to the center of the universe. Keep letting those energies release through your head, through to the higher self and beyond. Gate, gate, forever gone. Gone, gone, forever gone. And breathe with the holographic breathing. Just keep letting the kundalinis release, letting your brain release, letting yourself merge with the higher self, with the beyond. Let your neck relax. Let those energies go. And breathe. Okay. Letting that calm down. Letting yourself drop in your body. You start feeling your heart, your ovaries, testes, uterus and prostate. You start dropping more into the magma, the molten rock. You're coming back up to the surface now. Feeling your fire energies, feeling moving out of the steel into the molten rock. You've still got a certain amount of steel there, but you're moving into the molten rock. And then you're coming back to where it's starting to solidify. You're moving into the earth's crust and this deep earth, horror, earth energy. You feel grounded. Grounded in yourself. It's good to feel your sit bones, your bones. You feel these deep, rich earth energies. And slowly coming closer to the surface until you're coming back out of the surface. It's a bit like being born anew. It's good to let your neck being straight, because, or drop your chin, because this is a bit like being reborn. You come out, you're in your room, slowly out of the earth like being born, and into yourself, being birthed out of the earth. And relaxing and breathing the air. Getting used to being on the surface of the planet. And breathing. And you've still got this connection to the rock, to the molten lava, to the molten metal, and to the nuclear reactor, the nuclear fission within you, healing you through and through. And breathe, breathe and breathe, relax and breathe. So you can just stay there for as long as you want, but I'm going to bring people back, but it's fine for you to stay there. Sending a thank you to the earth, to all levels of the earth. Sending a thank you to the higher self, the beneficial energies. And thanking yourself. Letting the energies go off for love and healing to the earth, for love and healing to the higher self and beneficial energies. And allowing yourself to be loved and healed. And when you feel ready, gently allowing yourself to come back. So if you've enjoyed this talk and enjoyed this meditation, please like and subscribe to my channel. There's also a link to my newsletter. You can join my newsletter there. If you go on the newsletter, there's free webinars, all sorts of information every week. There's advanced webinars, there's trainings where you can train to be a holographic breathing practitioner. But definitely like and share, like and subscribe. I've got loads of videos, YouTube videos and meditations. If you go to my channel, you can find those. All right, thank you for participating. See you next time. All right, bye.